goal of this video is to change your perception of a task from something you have to do to something you can't wait to do. If you had unlimited motivation, you wouldn't need to force yourself to stay focused on a task, and consecutively, every single aspect of your life would improve. So let's define motivation first, and then I'll reveal my 3-step formula to get it. Motivation, or an incentive, is a psychological drive that influences behavior, and it comes in two main forms. There's intrinsic motivation, which comes from within. You have a drive, a passion, an instinct to do something for its own sake. For example, you might love painting or making music just because it feels so rewarding. On the flip side, there's extrinsic motivation, which comes from outside yourselves. You do something to get paid, to avoid negative consequences, or to impress someone. The main difference between these two is which actions they support and how long they last. You have things you're intrinsically motivated for and can keep doing for hours and hours while having fun, while actions fueled with extrinsic motivation always seem hard to keep focus on, so you end up relying on your willpower to finish the job. Even if you're doing something your instinct supports, it will not support your effort trying to get it. For example, collecting coupons to get a discount on groceries. Your instinct likes food, but only likes eating it. That's why a lot of things get you bored so easily. Now take lifting for example. Intrinsic motivation is linked with long-term exercise adherence, whereas extrinsic motivation is usually just short-lived for your workouts. People who view exercise as a chore are also more likely to snack afterwards compared to people who find it fun. The same people sign up for a yearly membership on January 1st and are never to be seen again after April. When lots of people are doing something, only the intrinsically motivated will raise to the top. The next question would be how? How to develop intrinsic motivation. Let's look at some data, and to our benefit, it's been studied a lot, so we can define it with 3 components: competence, autonomy, and relatedness. Do you know anyone who loves playing an instrument but is just terrible at it? The person who spent years and years practicing, but every time they play, the audience cringes. Ever met someone like that? Me neither. That's because people are naturally motivated for things they're good at. For yourself, being good at something makes you confident. For others, it's a status symbol. You see, competence is so strong, it can even be more motivating than the activity itself. This means you wanting to do something because you're improving, even if you don't like it. I'm sure you've experienced it yourself, like when a friend tells you to download some game you don't really like, but you get hooked at the start because of how fast you're improving. To put it simple, exercise or building a business don't have to be fun. There's nothing fun about pushing through the last 3 reps of an exercise or managing your company. Rather, these things should be fulfilling, and nothing is as fulfilling as mastering something. So here are 3 key factors to master a skill. Number 1, research. Take the previous business example. If you're a manager who finds his job unfulfilling because you think what you do doesn't contribute to anything at all, take on a management course. Read a management book. If you learn how to motivate others, you're efficiently becoming more productive at your job, as you're doing right now by watching this video. By the way, please subscribe. I don't even have 100 subs yet. Research is especially important for fitness, as if you don't get any results, it's difficult to stay motivated. Getting fit is hard for a lot of people, so becoming more educated is the best way to go. Don't just do random stuff in the gym. Learn about it, research it, and stay up to date with the latest science. The second aspect is tracking progress because it helps highlight results. When a client comes up to me and says there's nothing happening, yet when I look at their strength progression and their body fat measurements, they're making clear objective progress. A quick tip for anyone into fitness: I suggest you should at least track your strength progression in the gym, your body weight, and some measure of body composition like your waist circumference. Tracking also applies to other things. For example, companies should employ a performance indicator, and his job would be to track an objective measure of productivity like the number of sales in a salesman or trading profit in a trader. This will give an objective measure for the company's employers to see if they're improving. So doing research and tracking your progress is an amazing start to see objective improvements. However, aiming for a specific level of competence, aka goal setting, can often backfire. Here's a story. I used to play Fortnite, like a lot. And I had this friend with whom I was always evenly matched. We both hated losing 1v1s, but our mindsets were completely different. I played the game to win and saw losing as a sign of being bad. I knew there were certain moves my opponent never used, so I didn't prepare for them. I exploited every single one of his weaknesses as long as it hit him. while he had a different mindset. He saw most of his losses as a painful lesson for improvement. Then he'd always practice the counter move and never use strategies that had clear counters, even if I didn't know them yet. I'd win like 10 games in a row, but after that, he had already mastered the counter and I'd never be able to use the attack again. He told me he always imagined playing against a perfect opponent and aimed to get better at playing every time. So what does this have to do with motivation? You see, most people have concrete goals in mind, like benching 300 pounds, being 10% body fat, winning in a 1v1. But the truth is, these goals are just statements, a desire, an empty sentence. Who wouldn't want to look like a supermodel with tens of millions of dollars in the bank? But just a desire without a plan is meaningless. How to actually set a goal is to forget your dream body, your dream car, your dream house. When you're focused on the future, you lose presence and enjoy the activity less. The better way is to purely focus on getting better and not some arbitrary destination. I have a friend who's a marathon runner, and I once asked him, what does he think about during a race? He said to me, the only thing on his mind is one more step. The people with growth mindsets have always done better than performance chasers in research. And in the gym, oh boy, the difference is night and day. The performance chasers often end up ego lifting with more weight than they can handle, while those who don't care what they lift constantly use good form and make better progress in the long run. So whatever is important to you, do it just to get better. Don't set arbitrary performance goals. Don't play chess to beat your opponent. Play it to become a better chess player. Don't go to the gym to bench 300 pounds. Go in there to get stronger. This was all you need to gain competence, so the next step is autonomy. In high school, I had to read the book Lord of the Flies for my English class. Like most books in school, I didn't actually read it. I just found a summary online and used that instead. I couldn't care less for what happened to some British people stranded on an island. But 2 years later, I read the book on my own and enjoyed it a lot. The point here is nothing is fun when you have to do it, as the things we are most motivated for are also the things we choose ourselves. We evolved as hunter-gatherers to explore and to be free. That's what most people enjoy because they have the choice to do it. Being autonomous is a matter of mindset. Take the Oxford University, for example. It's a very good school. However, what separated the top students from the rest wasn't their IQ score or their time management. The difference was in asking them something they didn't know. Most of the students responded with, I don't know. However, the top performance consistently said something like, let me look that up. Having the mindset of figuring out stuff on your own is a monumental driver of success. And there's nothing more powerful than a person driven to get stuff done. I want you to ask yourself, why do you wear the clothes you wear? Or drive the car you drive? Or listen to music you listen to? Because most of these choices aren't strictly functional. According to a French psychologist, Pierre Bourdieu, I know I just butchered it so bad, our taste in different things is mostly a method of social distinction. Let's take buying a car. Would you rather have a Volkswagen or a Ferrari? From a functional perspective, both are equal if you plan not to break the speed limit, as both of them can get you from point A to point B. In fact, the Ferrari is very low to the ground and it'd be hard to drive in some places. Plus, the Volkswagen is more economical with gas, so the more functional choice is clear. However, the Ferrari's economical disadvantage is also its biggest advantage. When you see a Ferrari on the street, the car screams, fuck you, get your paper up. It's not just about cars. We all do it. Even if you decided to play this game by not having an Instagram, buying unbranded clothes, and driving a Honda, these choices would still speak about your values. We as humans always hang around with like-minded people, so the third factor for motivation is relatedness. You simply need to feel some socio-cultural connection to your craft. I can't stress it enough for why it's so important to have colleagues who started a similar business like you, for example. Because if you want to hang around, you better be on their level. That's our nature for wanting to be close to people who are successful. Take a sports team and its fans. Research shows that when the team is winning, the fans are more likely to wear their jerseys and identify with it more. Yet when it's losing, it's always,
I'm not really a fan, bro. I just watch them occasionally.
In fitness, we also have these tribes like powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, bodybuilding, and CrossFit. And diet tribes like keto, paleo, carnivore, vegan. If I had to identify with a tribe, it'd be the evidence-based fitness. And the reason it's not that widespread compared to, say, CrossFit is because it lacks relatedness. Because relatedness is an emotional attachment, and anything that promotes rationality, aka shutting off your monkey brain, will lack relatedness and consequently attract less people. That's why religions have been more powerful than atheism throughout history. So here are 2 tips to create intrinsic motivation through relatedness. Number 1, find a community. The best thing for finding relatedness is searching for people who do the same thing as you. I, for example, love going to the gym, but because I take it pretty seriously, I can't connect with everyone in there. That's why my social circle in the gym is small, but comprised of like-minded people. I recently also got into YouTube, so I joined a Discord server dedicated for YouTubers to learn. And I also have a friend who does YouTube and pretty much mentors me, so shout out to him. So whatever you're interested in, find a community to keep you accountable for what you're doing. Have you ever requested something from a colleague and he said, "That's not my job"? This mindset is so demotivating. Like, if you think of yourself as a job description, you're bound to fail. To be intrinsically motivated for anything, you must know why you're doing it. A big reason to do anything is to help people. So if you're looking for that extra spice of motivation, do it for someone else in your family or a friend. That might help. So my final tip is always have a clear purpose in mind and let others know your purpose. It'll help motivate yourself and others alike. This was all I had for you guys. So if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, and until next time.